Have you ever wanted to change who you are? Have you ever looked in the mirror and the face that was looking back at you was not a true representation of who you really are? This is what we're talking about today as we dive deep into the power of realizing that you can transform your life. You don't have to be the same person that you used to be, and the responsibility for living your life is on you. I'm Clara Capano, and this is Women Winning Their Way. So, with that said, I am bringing on my friend, Alice Shank. So, Alice, you and I met several years ago in one of my trainings, and I am so excited to have you here. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, we're going to be talking about your story and about the transformation that you have gone through. But before we do that, we're talking about creating success and doing it on our terms. But to take us back, when you were a young child and you thought about what your future would look like, what did you think success was going to look like for you when you were a young girl?
When I was a child, I didn't think about success. As I got older, somewhere it filtered in that I needed to have goals. And I remember that my first goal was to get a job so that I could start work as soon as I graduated from high school. And I went out and I did that. And along the way, I picked up a goal to buy a new car by a certain year and to buy a house by a certain age. And interestingly enough, when I got my first job, I decided that I really did want to go to college, no matter what it took. I wanted to go to college. So I put myself through night school to get a 2-year degree. And I think that was my first realization that I could accomplish whatever I set out to do.
Fantastic. And I love how you took this. And again, you really focused on your goals and again, the path that you wanted and the strategy to help you get there. So that is fantastic. So this has been obviously a pattern in your life of getting clear on what it is you want and going after it. So we are talking about transformations today. And, I have known you, like I said, for probably 5 or 6 years now, but the last maybe year and a half to 2 years, you have gone through an amazing and remarkable transformation. So tell us a little bit about this transformation you've gone through.
Well, the real transformation physically started about 10 months ago. It was a month after I finished the Ninja Mastery classes. And I remember distinctly something that you said: figure out what is in your own way, what's holding you back. And I lacked the self-confidence that I used to have, and I wanted it back. I decided that I needed to make changes, but I had a hard time visualizing what those changes would be. I've never been good at cutting pictures out and doing a vision board, but you caught me off guard with your vision letter. I'm a writer. I love to put words to things. And I sat down and wrote that vision letter. And in it, I said I needed to lose 75 pounds because even in words, I could not put down a higher number than that. But I did it. I went out, and within a month, I had found a program that I was confident would work for me. And I got started on it.
That is incredible. And, the vision letter is such a powerful exercise. So for people who are listening, the idea is you sit down and you reflect 12 months into the future and you write a letter. It could be to yourself or someone that you know about, again, the person you have become over the next 12 months. Again, you're getting this vision together.
For me, I wanted more energy. I didn't have the energy that I wanted to go out and do the things in real estate that I knew I needed to be doing to build my business. And this program touted energy first and weight loss as secondary. And frankly, I didn't believe I could lose the weight that I have. I just wanted energy. I blame my lack of energy on COVID. The doctors that I was seeing, my GP, they were saying you just have long COVID, but I didn't get a solution from them. And I decided that I had to take charge again. If I wanted this, I had to go after it, just like I did getting a college degree. I had to be the one who made it happen. So I had met a woman through networking. She said she was a health coach. I reached out, contacted her, found out more about the program. It's called Optavia, and it's a fantastic program for me. I won't get into the particulars, but
Mhm.
it just works for me. I knew I needed regular protein throughout the day. I wanted to keep my health up because I was in good health, even though I was morbidly obese. I was in good health.
Mhm.
And I wanted to get the energy level and stop living my life from the chair in front of the TV. I wanted to
Yeah.
be out there having fun and in action.
Definitely. And you hit on two big things, this idea of both energy and also confidence. How did the lack of energy and the lack of confidence impact you as far as achieving other goals? Because I think even if it's not weight, so many people out there are facing these two items in their own way. So, how were these impacting you and keeping you from achieving what you wanted to achieve?
The lack of energy kept me from getting out from behind my computer or getting out of my chair. I would just like, oh no, I'll do it later. I, an off chance comment from another realtor who's a real go getter and went out and did all kinds of things. I said, you get an idea and you act on it. And she said, of course. And it just stopped me short because I had to go home, sit down and think about it, forget
Mhm.
about it, maybe have it cross my radar again before I took action. That's not the way to get to where I want. The lack of confidence kept me from speaking out, from making the um, asking the questions and having the conversations that I would with people because I would be out in the kitchen helping people get food out at a social event rather than socializing.
Mhm. Yeah.
I hid and I decided to stop hiding from my own life.
I think that's beautiful. Yes. And we all have to do that. Stop hiding from our own lives. Let's be an active participant and let's do it at the best level possible. That's fantastic. So, I want to talk about because one, you made the decision, and we all know you can make the decision, then you need to follow it up with the action, which is what you did. But I'm sure over the past 10 to 12 months, it hasn't been smooth sailing. I'm sure not every day, were rainbows and unicorns, and there were probably some days that were tough. So, tell us maybe about some of the setbacks, the real life behind the journey and how you faced that and overcame that.
Part of the health program that I followed has a Facebook group that is support from coaches across the world and from the other people that are on the program. And this one girl was talking about losing a certain amount of weight and being down in Wonderland. And I thought, well, what does that mean? So I asked somebody and learned that it means when you get below that 200 mark where your scale is saying 199 point something. And I thought, I want to be in Wonderland. That's going to be my intermediate goal. And then I thought about it. And coincidentally, I thought that I could do it by my 68th birthday. So I wanted to lose 68 pounds by my 68th birthday. And then I thought, oh, I guess I should run this past my coach,
Mhm.
my personal coach. So I reached out to her, told her what I wanted to do, asked her if she thought it was attainable. And she said, it's not important whether or not I think it's attainable. You think it is. But more importantly, I want to know what you're going to do if you don't reach your goal. So
Mm.
what I did, I delayed celebrating my birthday. I kept right on going to get that 68 pounds off. And I made it by mid October. Now, that was a twofold win for me because what does everybody want to do? They want to go out to eat, they want to go out for drinks, they want to have cake, they want to have ice cream.
Mhm.
This is a very structured program that you follow specific and measured guidelines.
Yeah.
So, not only did I not celebrate my birthday, I ended up taking a trip back to Ohio to visit family and friends. So I told the people here that I was celebrating in Ohio. I told the people in Ohio that I was celebrating back here. And I missed all that celebration and stuck to my program until I got to my goal. Then I went out for dinner. I didn't even have cake and ice cream. And it was the most wonderful win I could have. I stayed focused on my primary goal.
Yeah. That's incredible. And I'm really hoping that people truly heard what it is that you said because we have to be strong. Because again, that willpower is not always there, and here it is that concept of you've got to take responsibility in everything you're doing, because it is challenging. And, you're in a sales business. And so many of us, that social of let's go out to lunch, let's go out for coffee, let's go out for a glass of wine. And many times we have to put that celebration on hold. So I love the idea of how you sort of created the solution by going to another area. And again, sort of, getting yourself out of that. But on a day to day, when you were in it, if a client, if another, coworker said, "Hey, Alice, let's go out to lunch," if a family member, nearby, if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go out for this?" How did you say no? Because so many people do that. And again, it may not be food. I may want to do better in my business, and I may have it set that I'm going to sit down and make sales calls today. But then a friend comes and says, "Oh, do you want to go out to lunch?" And I'm like, "Okay," rather than having the discipline and the focus that you did. So, what were some day to day things that you did? How did you stay connected and stay tenacious with sticking to your plan?
In the beginning, I would go along with the plan, but
Mhm.
then I wouldn't have the progress that week because
Mm.
getting on the scales every Monday morning was my measurable goal. But
Mm.
the energy that I had and the momentum that I accumulated got derailed if I made bad choices. So eventually I learned make less bad choices, maintain a degree of sociability, but be upfront and tell people that you need to know what time we're going to eat. You need to know where you're going to dinner. You need to know what they're fixing for a meal. And I've gotten so bold as to say, how about if I bring my own meal? And I take something that I can prepare ahead of time that's cold and it works. My friends are forgiving for the most part. Some of them will fix a separate meal for me. Um, I'm very specific about what I can and cannot do, and I probably bore my friends to death, but that's okay. They're
Mhm.
not on the journey that I'm on to reach this goal. They don't have their eyes on the same prize that I have mine on.
Yeah.
And I have to say that this journey has made some of my closest friends really uncomfortable. And they say things that are passive aggressive or mean or judgmental. And I just have to put those shields up and let it bounce right back off of me because when they go into that territory, it's not about me. It's about them and how uncomfortable I'm making them feel. And I can't let that get in my head. I had a wonderful mentor for a number of years. One of the things I always remember her saying was, don't give them free rent in your head. And there are times when a comment is on a loop running through my mind negatively, and I will just say out loud, get out of my head.
Mhm. Yeah. I just so much came up when you said that last comment, and that was so extremely profound and powerful. When we're talking about women winning their way, this is a great example of that, because you had to get clear on what was going to work for you. And I saw, this confidence again, that being able to stand up and to advocate for yourself and to say, "No, this is what I need to do," letting go of what others would say. And I do want to, pick up on this, because when we start to succeed, we've got our group of people that are on our side, and we also have people who are against us. And it's not, I don't even know if sometimes they realize that they're trying to sabotage us, but you're absolutely right. Not everybody likes the change. So, did you ever say things to them? Because you talk about how you just let those comments come and let those comments go. But I'm sure on some level, it did hurt inside. Did you ever stand up and say things to them?
Not directly,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't feel like they would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It would take more of my energy that I wanted to give. It's sometimes better to just let it go and let them be right.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. I know sometimes I see that because I'm an early riser. So that means I go to bed early. And I have a lot of people that tease me. And I'm like, again, let those comments come and let them go, because I'm accomplishing the life that I want to lead. And for me to hit my goals, I want to get up. It's not that I have to, I choose to. And so again, I can see that. But sometimes I do, tell them, hey, listen, I'm not telling you you need to do it. This is just what I need to do. Yeah.
I think that the overall effect that it has had for me is that I limit my contact with the people that aren't
Mm.
actively supportive of me.
Hmm.
And I used to justify that by saying, oh, it's not the right time, or I only eat one meal of food a day. The rest of it's from fuelings. I justified. And
Hmm.
along the way, I learned that I don't have to do that. If I get
Yeah.
a text saying, hey, you up for dinner Friday night? I can just say, no, I can't make it. End of
Hmm.
story. I don't have to justify my decisions. I'm making the right ones for me.
Oh my gosh, this is just so incredible. And again, I think that this can be applied to so many different areas in your world, your physical being, your mental being, your careers, your relationships, everything that we're doing. So I love all these nuggets that you're bringing in. I want to go back to this concept, and you've brought it up a couple of times, the idea that you're not eating, you're fueling, because I think we need to again start to change some of the language. So talk to me a little bit about the power of fueling yourself, both body, mind, and spirit.
You just have to. I'm learning that. And
Mhm.
people talk about me being on a diet. This is not a diet. This is a program. A buzzword in the past was a lifestyle change. Well,
Mhm.
it's everything in one for me because I headed into this knowing I didn't want to do this and then give it up because who wants to be energetic and healthy and then all of a sudden lose that and go back to an earlier version of themselves that didn't work. I
Mhm.
mean, when you walk into your medical doctor and you've just had blood work done that morning, and they come in to see you all excited saying, what on earth have you done? Your blood work numbers are phenomenally different. I don't even remember because they weren't that bad to start with.
Mhm.
But I do know that I can tell you my cholesterol dropped 62 points
Wow.
in 4 months' time on this program. So, by eating something scientifically designed for 5 or 6 times a day, 2.5 hours apart, I'm getting regular amounts of protein. I'm getting low levels of carbohydrate. I'm getting controlled fats. And then
Mhm.
I eat one meal a day that is measured and specific to what I can have in this phase of the program.
Mhm.
Based on that, I can have one or two measurements of healthy fat. I get 3 condiments to go with that entire day's worth of food consumption.
Yeah.
And it makes it fun. It's like almost like playing a board game because you get to choose.
Yeah.
I can have almond milk with this cereal fueling, or I can use something else to cook my vegetables in.
Yeah.
And it's easy. That's what I was looking for. I was tired of cooking. I was tired
Mhm.
of not feeling good. I was tired of not having food that I could eat on the go that fit my schedule as I began to get more energetic and was out
Mhm.
actually doing things. So this program works for me. If you can't discipline yourself, it might not be right for you,
Yeah.
but it works for me. When I get to where I want to go with my weight loss, because right now I'm right at the goal to lose 100 pounds. I may still have 15 or 20 pounds to go. That's up to me. What I see in the mirror when I'm being bare bones, buck naked, honest with myself. I don't want to be skin and bones. I want to get off all the excess that I
Mhm.
can and still be healthy and feel fit and feel attractive.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, I started giving up excess for Lent probably 10 years ago. When I give up something for Lent, that's like my New Year's resolution. I don't take Sundays off. I don't quit when Easter comes around. I just keep working on it until I get it done. So, about 10 years ago, I started downsizing. That enabled me to be able to move to an apartment for a number of years. Then I started working on all the things you don't think about downsizing. This last year, it's been things on my computer that I don't need and the excess weight that I don't need.
Mhm.
So this is like the final phase of my getting rid of excess. So if
Mm.
I have excess fat, let's go ahead and get rid of it before we stop and go on maintenance. I
Yeah.
can't tell you when that'll be. Everybody has to decide for themselves.
I love that. So, two questions that I want to ask. The first one is I want to ask because you brought up this word fun. I think sometimes people are afraid to take these transformations on. They're afraid to be regimented because they're like, oh, life isn't going to be fun anymore. So, even though you had to have discipline, did you still have fun? Was it
Oh,
always every day? I mean, talk to us because I think it's important that people realize you don't have to stop living to achieve your goals.
I made dishes that were fantastic because part of the program is you have access to all these healthy recipes.
Mhm.
And I began to cook seafood. I love seafood. It's expensive to go out and eat seafood.
Mhm.
And I made the decision I wanted to control the way it was cooked. I wanted to control how it was seasoned. I wanted to control my measurable quantities. So the solution is let's eat at home. And so I found new joy in cooking. I would send my coach pictures of my food periodically. And she said, you don't have to do that after the first week. But she said, I love getting your pictures because you always make it look so good.
Mhm.
And I have different dinnerware and I never use paper plates. I mean, to me, it's just something that I want. I want pretty dishes.
Mhm.
And so I get out different dishes for different seasons. I plate things up attractively. There's balance between my vegetables and my protein. I love sitting down to eat a plate. I may be eating off my lap, but that plate looks dynamite.
Yeah. So you
And
make an event out of it. It's not
yes,
just you make an event. And I think also, some of the things that, I have seen because I've really cut back on my alcohol consumption, and I did sort of a damp January and February. But, when I had people say, oh, do you want to go out for a cocktail? I would do the same thing and say, no, but I'm going to be going for a walk. Why don't you come with me? So I could still build the relationships and still engage with people but just in different ways. And so I think also again this new approach to food and to again opening yourself up to the creativity that you hadn't seen before is a great way to sort of rewrite the script.
I tell you, you mentioned going out and going for a walk.
Mhm.
Exercise was a four-letter word for me. I did not like to do exercise. I was really good at falling down. So, about the most that I would do would be to go out and go walking. But that's the beauty of this program, too. It's not designed for people who are exercising at the same time. Your program has to be modified if you're an exerciser. And I'm like, yay, Ra, I love this. I don't have to exercise and I'm going to have energy. But once I got on the program and started to take the weight off, I realized that I wanted to um, exponentially increase my mobility because it
Mhm.
had improved so much as the pounds came off. And I had two accidental falls. I knew why I fell. I did things stupid last year, but my doctor said, "Do you want a prescription to go in for um, weight up for balance?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead and write it, but I may not use it." Well, then I had to go for a bone density test, and I found out I had lost some bone density, and I needed to be doing weight bearing exercises. So I called back the doctor and I said, "Can you add exercises that I can learn in therapy that I can do at home?" So I just completed training for balance exercises I can do, for weight bearing exercises I can do to fight the osteopenia. And at the beginning of the year, I signed up for a gym membership through my Medicare program. And next week, I start going to the gym to work out, doing my things that are good for my health. I
Yeah.
don't want to be Miss Universe or whatever the bodybuilding
Mhm.
muscle bound people, compete in. I don't need to be that, but I will add that in when I get to my weight goal. I'll
Mhm.
add in that strengthening and toning for my muscles
Yeah.
because It feels good now to exercise.
Yeah. Today's episode is sponsored by our friends at Cutco. For over 75 years, Cutco has been known for the quality and professionalism of their knives and kitchenware. But did you know that they also are a partner in your business? When you work with a partner at Cutco, they help you build a business based on relationships and referrals. When you gift a Cutco product to your clients and business partners, you are there with them daily as a reminder of the quality and value you bring to them. I've been using Cutco in my business, and it definitely has sent a message that I am proud of. So if you're looking for a partner in growing your relationships and your business long term, make sure to work with Cutco. But I just see this again, this constant messaging of, again, doing what you need to do, but also doing it your way. Again, finding programs that support your way, finding exercises that support your way. So I think that that's a really strong message. I want to talk about how you have been able to maybe translate or see, because again, having this kind of discipline, now having new energy and new confidence, how has this transformation in your physical realm transferred over into your professional realm? Have you seen other successes happen in your professional world that maybe wouldn't have happened before?
When you go to a photo shoot for new headshots and new lifestyle photographs, and the photographer that met you a year ago, you can almost see his jaw visibly drop because he's so amazed at the transformation. When you go into an event that before I was always, like I said, hiding somewhere, just being there because I needed to make an appearance. And when people tell you that you walk into the room differently, that you bring a different energy with you into the room, you know that you're doing something right. And you start to look inward and really see those differences for yourself.
Mhm.
I am so much more confident. I can carry on a conversation with people. It can be nonsensical. It can be asking them the right questions to really get to know them better.
Mhm.
It just makes me react differently in every social situation. It makes me seek out other situations that I can be social in, again, under my terms. I just took on this job for this neighborhood association where I did some advertising last year, and they wanted a new neighborhood directory. Well, I didn't know this was a 32-page, glossy, 100-pound cardstock brochure that endured for, years in their homes, and that they needed the advertising sold for it because that's how they fund their neighborhood association. And that was what they needed, was somebody to sell the ads. So I'm working with another lady. We're out there pounding the pavement a couple afternoons this week. We're selling ads. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I walk in and I talk to people. I'm training her how she can make sales. She's doing follow-up work. We're going to get those ads sold. And I get to advertise in all those homes.
Mhm. Yeah. So I
Gonna
think just
blow
again,
my
this
mind.
confidence has just changed, your view, the lens in which you see the world. Have you seen it, have you been able to, maybe do more business? Do you find that your interactions with your clients have changed? Do you find yourself to be more empowered, more self-assured to maybe ask for what you need in opportunities that maybe you wouldn't have asked for before?
Absolutely. The directory is a perfect example. I said,
Mhm.
it'd be really nice if you comp this inside cover magazine, this inside cover ad to me for doing this work for you. I thought, no, I don't need to wait on McInerney to help me out with marketing dollars or advertising money. I just need to ask for it myself. Now I'm going to go back to McInerney and say, look, we put together this magazine. I think that we need to bookend McInerney in both the front and the back. Why
Mhm.
doesn't McInerney pay for the back inside cover? And then whether they open it from the back or from the front, they're going to see a McInerney ad.
I love that. Yeah,
All they can do is say no.
exactly. But they might say yes.
but they might say yes. And you
Mhm.
know what? That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, it's okay. The I haven't pushed my business this last year
Mhm.
because I've been so looking inward and digging deep. And financially, that was harmful for me, yes, but I still have things in the works. It was a slow year for real estate. So it kind of coincided well with my timing for what my personal goals were. And
Mhm.
I talked with my mentor that got me started in real estate. And I said, I may have done this backwards. And she said, no. She said, I know you well enough to know this mattered to you. And this has made such a difference for you. She said, you're going to be phenomenal this next year. And she always builds me up and supports me and tells me to listen to my own voice, to listen to my own heart.
Mhm.
I have been so blessed.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to go back to some practical tips for people because, again, I think that there are so many distractions out there that can pull us off our tactics. And I love how you said making smarter choices, but the way that you did it says let's make less bad choices. So things such as, again, not putting yourself in situations where you're going to be tempted, but sometimes those temptations happen. You're going to be walking down the street and you're going to smell a hamburger. Somebody in your neighborhood is going to be having a cookout and you're going to be like, oh my god, a hamburger would taste so good. Or you might see somebody doing these things. I think, again, it's the same in business. I might be saying, oh, I need to sit down and work, but the sun is shining and it's a beautiful day and I want to go play instead. So, in those moments where those distractions and temptations come up, how do you handle those temptations to keep you on par with what you need to do?
You make the best choices that you can in the situation. If I want a hamburger, I call the girls and we go out for hamburgers. I eat my hamburger without a bun, without mayonnaise. I get a side salad rather than fries with my hamburger. If it's a beautiful day and I don't want to work, I put the top down on my convertible and I go. I get out of the house and I go do what I need to do. I
Mhm.
make it fun.
Yeah.
I think that's the real point for me is just getting up and doing it one way or another. And I think of the phrase, if then that.
Mm.
If I have the burger with fries and the bun, first of all, I'm going to come home and be worthless after I have that. I'm going to want to take an afternoon nap if I eat it at lunch. If I have the burger with no French fries and no bun, I'm just going to keep right on sailing. It
Mhm.
may slow down my weight loss, but I can still have that burger. I can still go to events. I can still eat vegetables off of a vegetable tray and not have the chip dip. But I don't want to take a chance on that. So
Mm.
I still go to the event, but I stick something that's a transportable, doesn't have to be cooked
Mhm.
kind of fueling with me. If it's business, if I have the prompting that I need to call somebody, or if that comes up from my follow up system, I make that call because I think people come across your consciousness for a reason and you need to reach out to them. I just had that happen this week and I'm probably going to get emotional telling this. But when I wrote my vision letter last March, I wrote it to a very dear friend of mine here in Winchester. And this morning, as I got up and was reviewing what I could possibly talk about today with you, I realized that it was providential that I thought about her on Sunday afternoon and knew I had a action packed week. And if I wanted to visit her, I needed to go Sunday afternoon. Monday morning, she passed away. And she would be so proud of me for being on this program, for talking about all I have accomplished. And in cleaning out my files last week, because my computer was getting ready to do its own death by battery, and I had to buy a new one, and I wanted them to move files, but I didn't want them to move junk. And I
Mhm.
came across the affirmations that I was writing a year ago. And those affirmations have come true, except for my business. Everything in my letter that I wrote to my friend Lois has come to be, with the exception of my business. So those are signs to me that more than ever, now is the time to concentrate on my business in this next year. And it doesn't matter what happens in the market. I'm still going to find ways to do business.
That's
I'm going to
amazing.
find the clients that need me.
Yeah. And I know Lois is going to be there as your guardian angel guiding you through all this. And that was just such a beautiful testament and beautiful story. So thank you for sharing that with us. So, as we're starting to bring this discussion to a close, if you were to come across someone who is looking to have a transformation, again, not just on the physical side, but maybe, letting go of something, a job, a career, starting a new job or career, starting a new relationship. What are some things that you would encourage somebody if they were maybe a little bit afraid or hesitant to go forward? What would be some words of advice?
I think I would tell them to really look within themselves for what makes them afraid and what
Mm,
can help them eliminate that fear. I've moved all around the country. I've changed jobs so many times. I think this is my third career now with real estate. And you just can't be afraid. Don't let what other people tell you hold you back. Have your groundwork of what you need and go for it. I lost my way for a number of years in a relationship and in a marriage. I mean, I lost my heart. I lost my mind, if you will. I stopped having goals. And it was an entire process to get out of that marriage and relationship. And it took me a long time to recover. But I'm so glad that I did. And one of the ways that I did that was by moving to a new area. And he never got here. And it made it much easier to separate myself from him. But you can do the same thing with so many situations. You move past them if you don't fit that mold anymore.
mhm.
Make a new mold for yourself. Make a new hole.
I
Not a,
love that.
you
Yes.
know, but create that mold.
Mhm.
Be creative and create what you need to not only succeed, but to thrive. To me, it's all about joyful living. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to have fun when I was growing up, not in the way that people have fun and enjoy life now. And I want to enjoy life while I can. That
Mhm.
means where I live. That means what I do, how I interact with people, the things that I choose to support with my volunteer time, the things that I choose to support with my energy. And alignment is such an important word. If you're unhappy where you are, it's probably because you're not in alignment with the things that you're doing. So find out what makes you happy within you and go for it. I'm having tons more fun than I ever dreamed I could
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
things are finally getting in alignment for me. That means that I've had to walk away from some things and say,
Mhm.
no, this isn't a good fit for me. Even a year ago, I would say, no, I can't. I'm not a quitter. You're not quitting. You're moving on and making the right decision for you. So I've walked away from some volunteer things, the same as I've distanced myself from people who haven't been as supportive to me. It's okay. Sometimes you can't always breathe life into an old
Mhm.
situation, and they don't need to have your resuscitation. Move on.
Wow, that statement that you just made of I'm not quitting, I'm just moving on, so powerful because I think, especially for those that are overachievers, they don't want to move on because they do think it's a failure. And so, again, changing that way that we view it, changing the lens in which you're seeing that. So, I really appreciate you saying that because I think there's people out there that really need to hear that. You're not a quitter, you're just making the choice to move forward. And so I think that was brilliant. So we know that this year we're going to keep doing all the good things and we're going to focus on your business. So tell us a little bit about, what you're doing business. Let's give you some promotion and let's open up that abundance so that more business comes your way too.
I am a licensed realtor in the state of Virginia with McInerney Associates. What that means is I can physically be here anywhere within the state of Virginia to help you buy, sell, invest, find rentals. But it also means, because I'm part of McInerney Associates, that worldwide, I can help you find properties. We're part of the leading real estate industry, and that's a very select group of realtors that networks across the world. So I can help. Whatever you're looking for, I can help.
I love that.
I love helping people in any way. And for that reason, when I was asked by Optavia to become a coach, I said I would do it. So I'm going to build a client base where one thing enhances the other, because that's just going to help me meet more people who I can help with their home needs. And then real estate's also going to give me new people to talk to about what a transformation I've made. My new photos are just up on my website. My lifestyle photos will be up shortly. But, I want to help people who genuinely want or need my help, no matter their circumstances, no matter where they are in life. I want to be there to help people out. I'm good at teaching people. I firmly believe that we go through life with lessons to teach and lessons to learn. And I want to continue to do both until the day I die. So I'm here
Oh,
if you need me.
love that. Oh my gosh. You are just such a light. And, I'm so honored that we are in each other's worlds. I've loved watching you grow, you change. You have challenged me just as much as I've challenged you in our times together. And I'm so just proud of you, inspired by you. And again, I just am so appreciative of everything you're doing. We started our conversation by talking about what we thought success would be when we were young. But sitting where you're sitting today, how do you define success for yourself now?
Success is just helping as many people as I can. I love what you're doing with Ninja. I'm so glad I met you through Ninja and mastery classes, but I'm also so happy to be a part of the many other things that you're doing to help women. It's just phenomenal. And I am right in there with you. I want to help as many people as I can and be there for them when they feel like they don't know where to turn. In real estate, you learn to have resources. One of the trainings that I took, it was a personality analysis, and I found out that I am a connector and a protector. So there's a lot of people in real estate that I help where it's not transactional. It's just about them needing some resources, and I share resources. Or it's about them having a realtor but needing to be sure that their realtor is doing what needs to be done for them. And I always specify this is the way things are in Virginia. But, it just gives them a little added support. These are friends and family. But I still enjoy doing that. To me, it's not all about transactions and how many dollars go in the bank. Again, it goes back to the joyfulness. I follow that Marie whoever theory. If it brings you joy, keep it. Only I say, if it brings you joy, do it.
Fantastic. Alice, thank you so much for sharing today. This has been just an incredible discussion and so many words of wisdom that you gave us. And I know that, things are going to continue to grow for you. And I just really thank you from the bottom of my heart for not just being my friend, but for also being here and sharing this message.
Thank you for letting me be your guest.
All right, everyone. That was incredible. That's the only word I have for it is incredible. And I have a long list of things that I have learned from my discussion with Alice. So to wrap this up and kind of bring in some moments of clarity, some of the things that she brought up is what is holding you back? Do not be afraid to look deeper, to challenge yourself and to ask yourself, what is that fear inside of you and what is holding you back? Because that might be the discussion that you need to have with yourself to be able to unlock yourself. You know, um, Stop hiding from your life. Yes, life is meant to be lived, and let's start living our lives fully engaged. Get out, meet people, talk with people. Again, make sure that you're doing something that is going to help you Live each day. And here's to what enjoy. I just tell people 15 minutes of joy every day. Do things that are going to light you up on the inside because that will translate to lighting you up on the outside as well. The idea of support, of understanding how powerful it is because not everybody is going to understand your journey. Not everybody is going to be there cheering you on the way that you would hope they do. So find the support you need. And then for those that are going to be somewhat of the naysayers, one of the things that she said is that is their journey, not yours. The things that are going on internally for them is none of your business. When you are living your truth, when you are walking in your path and alignment, it doesn't matter what other people are going to think. All that matters is what is important to you and how you are going to make that happen. Taking personal responsibility. She gave us some great examples of owning it. Again, taking your own food with you, putting up, the items of, no, this is what I need to do for myself and taking that personal responsibility. Making less bad choices. I think so many times we focus on, oh, we have to make good choices. Well, sometimes the only way we can make the good choices is by making less bad choices. And this idea of trade-off, she brought this up towards the end, and really looking at the if then what. I loved that. If I eat this food, then how am I going to feel? Well, maybe I won't feel as energized. Well, if I take the day off, then I'm not going to make this deadline. Or if I take the day off, maybe I can go outside and meet with someone face to face. Or then I'll come back and I'll work a couple extra hours later this evening, but I'm going to take a couple hours off now. So having those checks and balances and the trade offs. If I'm going to eat a bigger lunch, well, then I'm going to, eat a lighter dinner later. So understanding that life is full of trade-offs, but going through that if then what? And then again, at the end of it all, making sure that you are in alignment. So there were so many lessons in here. I would love to hear from you. What were some of the takeaways you met? So if you found this episode as powerful as I did, please make sure not just to put us in a 5-star rating on iTunes and Spotify, but also share this. Again, the lessons that Alice told us and shared with us are not just about our personal lives, they also will transfer into our professional lives as well. You have the ability to make these transitions happen. You have the ability to create success and do it in the ways that will work for you. So please make sure to like, comment, share, and always keep coming back for more. So again, I'm your host, Clara Capano. If you want to connect with Alice, our sponsors, me, for anything you need, make sure to go through the show notes and we will see you next time for another episode of Women Winning Their Way.